Construction started in late November and is finished in January of 3 houses, three bedroom houses. So that is a tremendous achievement. I want to thank Mr. Wellington for his commitment to getting that done. PM, as I was saying, this community, Hopefull Village, is a somewhat informal community. The electricity arrangements are substandard, the voltage is low coming in here, and we need to help to get that regularized. And these houses being put up, I think, is going to make a big positive impact on the mentality, the mindset, and the aspirations of the residents here. They're already saying, you know, the road, we want to get the road sorted out and so on. So that is what things that we will work on going forward. And there's a project I want to talk to you about afterwards, which I think you'll find very interesting as well, but I'll speak to you a little bit later. So it's a good day.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well today. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to all the subscribers and to all the viewers as well. If you haven't yet subscribed, please feel free to do so. We're on this journey together, so we're on our way right now to 2,000 subscribers, and I totally appreciate all the subscriptions from each and every one of you. So we're seeing the Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the opposition leader Mr. Mark Golding, Member of Parliament for South St. Andrew, coming together in Hopefull Village, that is an unofficial section of Arnett Gardens. So there were three-bedroom homes that were handed over to these families. And I think that is just awesome, because a lot of the homes that were built, even in official Arnett Gardens, most of them were 1 or 2 bedroom. You will find a few, like a handful of 3 bedrooms. So this is just wonderful. This is something that they never used to do. It's nice to see the Prime Minister, Mr. Andrew Holness, coming together with the leader of the opposition, Mr. Mark Golding, to the ribbon cutting ceremony to hand over the homes to the new homeowners, which are Thea Jones, Carla Downer, and Nicole Hall. 3 homes that were handed over to these citizens. So it's nice to see the unity of everybody coming together, right? And making this possible for them. And I'm looking at a lot of social media comments, and people are very positive about this, saying this is what they want to see. Both the opposition and of course the ruling party, which is a JLP, coming together to help the people, right? They don't want them bickering and fighting and stuff like that. So that was done on January 25th. So congratulations to the new homeowners. So Hopefull Village is close to land that used to be occupied by the Eventide home. So the Eventide home is now Torrington Park. They put homes there. But prior to the homes coming there was Eventide, right? The famous Eventide that had that big fire back in the 80s, I believe. Eventide, Home for the Age. I'm not sure why they say Home for the Age when there was a wide cross section of people that were living in Eventide. So that fire was May 20th, 1980, and it, of course, 157 people succumbed to that fire, unfortunately. So that's where the property was. I am being told that piece of land that's there, I don't believe it's even half a mile, maybe half a mile long, right? Give you a little bit of history about Hopefull Village. It came about after the homes were allotted in Arnett Gardens, and there was an overflow. So a lot of people did not get any homes when the homes were finished building in Arnett Gardens. There were so many families in Trench Town, because you had bottom Trench Town and you have top Trench Town, right? So Rita Marley was living in top Trench Town on what we call Greenwich Park Road, right off Greenwich Park Road, as she said. I didn't know. Older people probably would have known more. Yeah. So people who were there, like the elders and so on, people who were older would tell you that yes, Rita Marley was living there, but I did not know of this until I read her autobiography. I realized that she was living off White Road, which is, of course, Greenwich Park Road, right? So that would be top Trenchtown. So all of these people are being given notice, telling them that they're going to build Arnett Gardens on this piece of land. Right from the top of Brentford Road all the way down, like even past 9th Street, 8th Street, because I think Mexico goes as far as 8th Street, right? So they were building all that section, and then up on Thompson Street, you would have Pegasus, right? So that's another section. Just to let you know, in Arnett Gardens, they have different phases, right? And the phases are named by the people there. So you'd have like Zimbabwe, which was a later phase. Mexico and Zimbabwe were the two last ones, I think, that were built. So you had all these phases, right? The homes were being built, modern homes with running water, and all of that was being built. And people, their names were either down on the books for getting the homes. If your name's not there, then you'd have to look elsewhere to live, because they were revamping the old entire Trenchtown area on the top, because the bottom already had like government homes, but the homes that were coming up on this side, they were not like the regular communal living in Trenchtown. Down in the bottom there where Bob Marley and other people were living, right, at the time, because Bob Marley did move up to Greenwich Park Road at one point as well, right? But we won't get into it in this video. So it's not that communal style living. There were private homes, 1 to 3 bedroom homes, and you have your own private space, your own kitchen, bathroom, and all of that. So I'm told that the minister, Antony Spaulding, he was in charge, right, at that time to build homes. So Trenchtown, top Trenchtown, I would say from 8th Street up, there was a lot of all types of things people would use to build homes, right? So they were wood homes, zinc homes, home built out of boxes, all types of stuff going on, right? And the bulldozers came in because they wanted, of course, they promised these people that they would build these homes. And I'm told that these homes started late 60s, right? And of course, they were finished in the early 70s or mid 70s, thereabout, right? People started moving in around 73, 74. So, yeah, so the homes were not enough and there was an overflow. So what they did was they built some homes. They were made of wood, but you had the kitchen and bathroom were modern. They built with concrete. The homes were built with wood, right? With sand dash and all of that. It looks good, right? And that's where they put the overflow. The people get homes in Arnett Garden were in this little section, just like after the Eventide. You have this little piece of land right next to the cemetery. Not even, I would say, not even maybe less than half a mile long. So they would put these homes there. And these homes were 4 to a block, right? And probably you had about 6 or 7 blocks, the most. And then you would have people that come and just build homes, little homes all around these government homes. You still had people that came there and built some little homes and stuff like that, right? So that's how it was back then. Years after the people were living there, they were told that, we have better homes for you down by Wilton Gardens, Rema, because those homes, people came in and were occupying them illegally, right? They didn't go through the process and all of that. So they tried to possess these homes in Rema by moving the people from Hopefull Village. So just before we get there, so that piece of land that they used to build these homes, back in the day, right? Many people, right, including some family members, that this was a cemetery for Eventide. So whenever anyone passed away, they would bury them on that piece of land. And people would dig sometimes and they would find a lot of hospital stuff buried in that property, right? So it was some type of infirmary type thing going on there. Like, you know, everything that they didn't need, use that after a while and start burying it there. After they stopped burying people there, they just dump stuff there. So they got in and they cleaned up the place and built homes over there. And then for some reason, the minister said he wants the people to go down there and occupy these homes because people were occupying them illegally and all of that. I had no idea that those homes, some of those homes were built by Antony Spaulding. It's the government, it's the Jamaican government, but you know, all politics, you know, I build this, let my people occupy type thing, right? So, which is not right. So I was told, I did not know what was going on. I was told that they went down there to try to get people into these homes, throwing out other people's property, which wasn't right, throwing out television sets, all of that, to get the people from Hopefull Village to occupy these homes. How were they even going to live down there is beyond me. Because if you force people out, what do you think those people will do, right? They're not going to let you occupy that place in peace. So soldiers were calling, police were called in, you know, did a lot of violence and all that. People got hurt. You know, you can pull it up in the Gleaner reports. A lot of people got hurt. And we don't want to say too much on the channel because if you know, YouTube and all that. But yeah, people got hurt that day. And the people did not get to occupy down by Rema, Wilton Gardens. They did not. They had to come back. A lot of people's furniture and all of that got broken up. And a lot of these people ended up, some of them ended up buying a land or getting land to lease. They're going to Bull Bay. Some of them went to other locations like Clarendon, St. Catherine, you know, Sufferers Heights. Some people end up in Sufferers Heights and all of that. So it was a big mess back then. But that's just a little history of Hopefull Village. I'm still like in a daze to see that people are still having a home crisis after all those years, right? The crisis is still there, present. But I'm happy for these families, happy that they're getting a home and that they'll be happy in their home because, of course, the need was there. And I'm glad to see that the Prime Minister stepped up and helped these people. So kudos to you, both Mr. Golden, he's a member of Parliament for South St. Andrew, and also kudos to the Prime Minister as well. When Yellowman came to Eventide, the day that he arrived, he spoke about it on the Teach Them YouTube channel as well. And of course, a family member of mine told me about it as well. Young adults that came there just out of childhood that came to Eventide that day. The universe will have it. One turned out to be the famous yellow man, and then the other one was Protege's mother. So it's not where you're coming from, it's where you're going. So you can just imagine two frightened teenagers just out of childhood turning up at the adult facility, Eventide home, right? And this is now their new home, and they have to adjust to it. And they did not know what to expect and now considered an adult. So the reggae artist Protege, his mom, I believe her name was Lorna. So a young girl turning up with Yellow Man, just coming from the Maxfield Park Children's Home. So you can imagine how frightened and terrified they were because they've now aged out of the children's home and now they have to be with adults, right? Grown men and women, right? So they were a bit terrified, hanging on to their bags, and my cousin was there and tried his best to keep them as safe as possible, right? On the next video, we'll tell you a little bit more about the things he did to keep Yellow Man safe. Saying that they were telling PROTEGE's mom not to wander around the entire Eventide because it's acres, right? It's a very big facility for her safety. So they looked out for them and stuff like that. So never say never, and no matter where you are in your stage of life, you never know what God has planned for you. Because life is like a journey, right? Your yesterday is not going to be your tomorrow. You can't use your yesterday to brand and label anyone, because life is a journey, and of course you never know where it's going to take you. But that was like a part of their journey, and you know now that Yellow Man has made history in Jamaica with all his accolades and his achievements and awards and everything that he got from that, right? He has made his mark in Jamaica. So going to be doing little bits and pieces of history as the time goes by, because we have people on social media, I'm not going to call any names, saying that Jamaicans do not know their history. We are going to try to change it by giving you some more information about your history. If you're having any type of struggles right now, any problems, any issues, just remember that life is a journey and you will overcome and you will get out of it. Your yesterday is not your tomorrow. It evolves. And of course, a lot of people started out very poor, unable to have a roof over their head. It was very difficult back then. Rita Marley had problems finding a roof over her head because she was living with her aunt even when she was having children, right? She was living with her aunt. And then she got this house, Antony Spaulding. They were building homes in Bull Bay, and she got a house over there. The house was paid for by Bob Marley. Of course, she went, I think it was $3,000 at the time, and she got the money from him. He paid down on it, and she moved with her children over to Bull Bay. Bob Marley lived at 56 Hope Road, and that's where he kind of lived like a communal style living, right, with a lot of friends and whatnot. I didn't know all of this until I read Rita Marley's autobiography, right? Bob Marley was not always living with her, right? So he would come and go from Bull Bay. Ladies, I was so proud of your thank you speeches to both the Member of Parliament and also to the Prime Minister. I felt very proud. You were very articulate and you were very genuine and very grateful. And that's what people want to see and hear. So you're well deserving of these homes. So we've come to the end of the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you on the next video. Take care of yourself and others. Bye for now.